Oh, hello. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Alright, I got some tea ready right here for my live stream. And got my laptop ready so I can read your chat more easily. Look who's here. I'm trying to see. There's 5 viewers right now. I wonder who's here today. What a long day I had today at work. There was a lot of driving today. There was a lot of traffic today. I hated it. There was some accident on the freeway today. I was stuck in traffic. Yeah, finally the day is over. What kind of tea is this? So I have a chai tea bag right here, and I also mixed it with some mushroom powder. Yeah, it doesn't taste that great because of the mushroom powder, but yeah, so whatever. Yeah, it's okay. How are you, B-Dog Free? How's your Wednesday going? I feel like it's my first time seeing you, no? Have you been on my live stream before? Alright. Same old. I guess that's a good thing, right? No bad news. Right. Oh wow, it's kind of hot in here. Let me see. Let's see here. How can I turn this on? Alright. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. So today on my live stream, there's some specific topic I wanted to talk about today, right? Which is so in this live stream I want to talk about how I feel really trapped in my life in terms of, I guess, making a progress financially, right? You know, I'm really glad that I have a job right now. I have a full-time job. But obviously I'm not too happy with how much I'm making. So last night I woke up just in the middle of the night, like around 3:30. For some reason I just woke up and I could not fall back asleep. And then somehow this thought dawned on me, thinking, man, like, where am I gonna be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? I mean, obviously it's always in the back of my mind whether or not I'm going to survive this cancer, but right now, I guess that thought about cancer has been, I don't know, subsiding and fading. It's weird, right? When I first got diagnosed with cancer, obviously it was shocking, and that thought was what pretty much preoccupied my mind throughout the whole day, but not anymore. I feel like might have a good chance of surviving it, then I'm already thinking about like my future. It's ironic, right? I'm dealing with cancer, but somehow I'm already thinking ahead of my future and where I'm gonna be in the next 5-10 years, and specifically financially, right? So as you may have known, or many of you know, I'm I'm 30. I'm 39 right now, and I still live with my parents. And I don't want to disclose too much about my financial situation, but my take-home pay is around like $3,500 a month. And I live in California, so $3,500 a month, that's not much, right? So going back to like when I woke up in the middle of the night last night, I don't know, for some reason I started to obsess over like this, thinking about where I'm gonna be financially in the next 5 or 10 years. Am I going to have a house? Am I going to be able to move out of my parents' house? Right? And I start to look up how much the rent price is around the area, right? Where I'm at. And 1-bedroom apartment in my area in SoCal is around $2,000-$2,100, like anywhere from like $1,900 to like $2,500 a month for a measly 1-bedroom apartment, right? And those, like, I guess the range that falls under like 2,000, those are like tiny apartments, right? So you can't hardly call it 1-bedroom apartment. And as I said, my take-home pay is around $3,500. So if I were to move out right now and get my own apartment, I'll have to pay more than half of my paycheck towards the rent. And if I remember correctly, the recommended percentage of how much you're supposed to pay for rent out of your take-home pay should be around like up to 30% of your income. So if I pay anywhere over that 30%, if I spend like anywhere more than 30% of my income, that means I'm overspending on my rent. So it wouldn't make sense for me to move out and spend more than half my paycheck so that I could have my own place to live. And that's quite wild, right? And the thing is that, I don't know, I start to feel really bitter and really negative last night. Like, how is it fair for someone working full time to not be able to afford rent, like 1-bedroom apartment rent? And I'm not even looking for a luxury apartment. It's just any 1-bedroom apartment, right? Any 1-bedroom apartment. And that any 1-bedroom apartment I still cannot afford while working full time. And some people may say, oh, like, you should just get another job. Like, you have an income problem. But it's not really so easy to get another job that will be higher paying. Like, the job I have right now, I feel like that it's a job I feel like I am capable of doing. But if I were to like get a job that's higher paying, I would probably have to work in maybe engineering field, or I don't know, biotech field, medical field. And I already tried engineering and I failed miserably. I freaking hated it. At one point, I wanted to get into software engineering, and I took some CS classes, and I did fairly okay. But I just could not tolerate the stress you would get, like, while you're trying to learn new stuff every day and you're constantly hitting that wall, right? And I just couldn't deal with it anymore. When I was studying computer science, I was constantly feeling suicidal, like, no joke. So, like, what do I even do? I mean, my income is not going to increase, like, drastically at all. If anything, my company might give, like, another 3% raise for everyone at my company, but I don't know. I'm not even sure if that's going to happen, right? So, I cannot afford buying a house. I cannot afford rent. So what do? Like, do I move out of the state? And some people may say, yeah, like, move out of state. Like, you're living in the wrong state. And I think that's partly true. California is very, very expensive. It's very pricey, right? And a lot of people are getting priced out too, and they are moving out of state. And last time I checked, yeah, they actually had more people move out of California than people coming in for the first time in a while. Which indicates that, yeah, people are moving out of California more than ever. And I'm pretty sure the main reason why they're moving out is because they cannot afford living here anymore. So, but, like, again, like, why is it that, how is it fair that someone working full time is unable to afford rent here? Okay. And even, okay, like, one bedroom, if I cannot afford one bedroom, okay, like, I'm willing to look at, like, consider a studio, right? Studio, do you know how much studio is? $1,700 a month for a freaking studio. Can you believe it? And again, it's not a luxurious studio either. It's pretty run down, like, studio apartment. And the thing about rent is that, yeah, every year it's going to go up. And most likely it's going to go up at least $100 per year, if not $200, if not $300. So my salary, my income cannot keep up with how fast the rent increases, right? So no matter how hard I feel like no matter how hard I may work and how much, or yeah, like, how much effort I put into my work, and in my life, I feel like I keep falling behind because I just cannot keep up with how fast the rent is increasing. And it's like I'm going deeper and deeper into the hole, pretty much, right? And I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this, my struggle, my situation, right? A lot of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And I still owe some money, like over $20,000 on my student loans. And I still owe some money on my car. Luckily, I was finally able to pay off my credit card after I got my job, which I'm really, really, really proud. So, I mean, for sure, I was in a much worse situation maybe like 2 years ago before I got this job. And I think I have made some progress in my life financially, but still, I feel like I just don't really see the way out here. And every day I feel like I'm just falling behind. And obviously that leads to a lot of resentment, bitterness, cynicism. And now I feel like I might actually have to get another job, at least like part-time, just to like get even, pretty much, I feel like. Just to get even with this life. Just to keep up, to barely keep up and survive. And even to rent a room, they now like expect you to pay at least $1,000. $1,000. This is ridiculous. Like many years ago, yeah, studio. I remember a time like when studio was like $800,000, but it almost doubled now, right? I don't know. I really don't know like where my life is headed to in terms of finances, and yeah, I just don't really know. Alright, let's read some chat here. Thanks guys for listening to my rant. Hey Morio Anime, good to see you. Tiger Lee, it's not the man who has too little who is poor, but the man who craves more. Oh wow, that's steep. Morio Anime, Kenji, you need to take it one day at a time. No one is promised tomorrow. Think about the afterlife. That's true. Hey Miss Christine, good to see you again. LW, you would feel a lot richer spending an American income in Southeast Asian country like Malaysia or Vietnam. Yeah, I think that's actually I've been giving a lot of thought into that too, right? But then if I move to Southeast Asia, I don't know, like there's certainly a language barrier, but also I want to be close to my family though, right? I'm going to miss my nephew and niece and my siblings and my parents. Especially my parents, they don't have much. I feel like they're well into their 60s and about to hit 70. And I feel like I don't have much time left with them, and I want to spend more time with them. So if I move, especially abroad, I'm not gonna get to see them as much, right? And I really want to see my nephew and niece grow. And yeah, surely like if I move to Malaysia or Vietnam or Thailand, any country in Southeast Asia, like I think, yeah, definitely it will be like financially a smart choice to move there because it's a lot cheaper. And in some way, I think quality of life might be better because last time I checked, their like decent apartment over there still cost maybe like half or even like less than half than the apartments here. So in my life, I've never got to live in any type of luxury homes before, but maybe if I move to Southeast Asia, it would be my first time getting to live in a nice place, right? Which will be really, really nice. I always wonder what it would be like to live in such a nice place, right? Yeah. Take-home pay of $3,500 is like over $70,000 per year in salary. That's pretty good. You could say that, but like to put into context, here where I'm at, I think up to 78K in like Los Angeles County, up to I think 78K, you're considered low income. Just put it into context. So you are subject to get some government assistance, if you will. Just so you know. It's just so expensive here. If you have savings, Tiger Lee, if you have savings, you can put a 5% to 20% deposit and purchase a condo. The mortgage would be the same as rent. So that's what I'm thinking, right? I want to save like at least 10 or 20% deposit so I can maybe buy a home, small home. But even a condo here, I think the median price is around 900 or a million. So in order for me to afford like 900K home, like pretty much I'm gonna have to save like 200K, and it's a long way. It's going to be a long way out, right? Hey, Jeffrey asks, Kenji, it's great to think about all these future things, job, where you will, how much money you will make, etc. But right now, just concentrate on your health and keeping strong. You got this. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why my mind is like this. Why am I thinking about where I'm gonna be in the next 5 years, where I'm gonna be in the next 10 years, if I'm going to be able to afford rent, if I'm going to be afford buying a house, when I'm actually have an imminent issue I have to deal with, which is my cancer, right? It's crazy sometimes, like my mind, where my mind takes me. Tiger Lee, would you worry about this if you died 6 months from today? No, I wouldn't worry. That's so true. Is this what you would worry about on your deathbed? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I think it's kind of like extreme though, no? It's to like, I mean, nothing really matters if you put that kind of question into context, right? Whether or not you have money right now, it doesn't matter. Whether or not you have a girlfriend, you have a wife, or you have a family, it doesn't really matter that much. Like if you're like on the deathbed, right? Because now you're really facing the death, or like imminent death that's certain. So nothing seems to matter, right? Because nothing really triumphs over death, right? Hey Jay Funny, good to see you again. Joe Billy. No, this is not a new car. This is my old car, 2020 Honda Civic. I mean, I guess you could say it's fairly new still, because it's still like 4 or 5 years old. D Hall, if you do decide to move from Cali, where would you go? An option to stay and move to apartment. There are 2 states I'm considering moving to. One is Nevada and the other one is Texas. Because like their rent is pretty cheap and the weather is pretty similar to California, maybe. Probably Nevada. I definitely want to move there. Yeah, and also because it's state income tax, like state income tax free, state tax free. Yeah. So California, you may not know, but California has state income tax. So on top of the federal tax, I have to pay state income tax. That's another like gripe about like I feel like I'm getting taxed like twice, pretty much. I have to pay federal tax and a state tax. And again, like I feel like I don't even make that much, and like, dude, like these taxes, like they definitely don't help me progress in my life, right? Yeah, Joe, Billy, yeah, I definitely would move to cheaper state than, yeah, I think Nevada and Texas is certainly a cheaper state. I mean, anywhere else other than New York is considered cheaper state than California, probably. Moyo Anime, Kenji, how is your health? Are you feeling better? Yeah, I'm feeling better, a lot better. I'm not feeling as nauseated anymore. So I'm eating better. I'm exercising better, and that's why I'm doing live stream more freely now, right? Full of energy today. Thanks for asking. Tiger Lee, move to Thailand. Rent is $300 a month, only if you have savings. Yeah, definitely. I think after I'm done with my cancer treatment, I might actually move there. I might take a shot. Maybe live there like for 6 months or so, right? All right, I'm gonna skip some chat, okay, guys. All right, Joe Billy, do you pay rent? No, I don't pay rent. Thanks to my parents. But I pay the utilities like gas and electricity and water. So I pay those, internet. So everything else I pay. So that adds up to I think like about $400 a month, which is not a lot. Compared to like paying rent, right? So I'm really thankful. I mean, if it weren't my parents, I really feel like I would be in a hole. I would be really struggling hard than ever, right? Having to find and having to pay for my own apartment is gonna be really hard financially, right? So I feel really lucky to have my parents to still let me to live with them even as a 39-year-old, right? So I feel really lucky that I'm in that shoes, right? Okay, let's see. The Walla Mala. Hi, Jenny. Are you scared of the meteor coming to Earth in 2032? I didn't even know the meteor is coming to Earth. But certainly I'm not scared. I mean, if we're all gonna die, we're all gonna die. So be it. Still 7 more years left to go, right? Hey Patrick, good to see you again. HB1N, what about New Jersey? I'm not so sure. I don't want to move to... Isn't New Jersey East Coast? I think... Isn't that really cold over there? And snowy? And also, isn't New Jersey right above New York, right? I think that state is expensive too, no? And they have state income tax as well. Hey GP Stan, good to see you again. What about Arizona? Oh, Arizona is good choice too. Yeah, so anywhere close to California, I think it might be an ideal choice, right? Because it's still close enough for me to come visit my parents and my family, my niece and nephew. So it's still within a driving distance. So Joe Billy, red states have lower taxes that are cheaper to live in, but you'll probably have a little bit less pay. That's true, right? But even if it's a less pay, I saw this graph chart where it shows how much your dollar goes in each state. And yeah, it's true, as you said, Joe Billy, it's true that you get less pay, but then still that less pay provides more for you had you lived in a different state than California, right? So it was saying how making 120k is equivalent to making 80k in Texas or Nevada, right? So you don't have to make that much if you lived in Nevada or different states, red state. Hey Damien, you're in New Jersey? It's a big highway dotted with malls. Actually, what does that mean? It's a big highway dotted with malls. HB1N, a little off topic, but I'm currently applying to UC Berkeley. Any tips? I think you mentioned you went there. Yeah, I did go there. You are, so you're trying to apply there. My tips, are you ready? Don't go there. Not worth it. Go to UCLA. Go somewhere else. That's my tips. I'm serious. I'm that serious. It's too cutthroat. I hated the weather. I really hated going there. That's my tips. Oh man. Where else are you applying? HB1N. Hey Cobra X, hello. I think it's my first time seeing you here, Cobra. Welcome everyone. How's everyone's Wednesday going? Wow, still 28 viewers. That's a lot for people, that many people to come on Wednesday. Yeah. You applied to Cornell, University of Michigan, Emory, Vandy. I already got into Northwestern and UIUC. Oh wow. Wow, you applied to Cornell, you got into Northwestern. Wow, UIUC. Dude, you're set. You don't need Berkeley. Avoid Berkeley at all costs. But like in terms of giving you tips for applying there, I don't know, like I didn't really have that high of an SAT score, but what helped me was maybe my background, moving to America when I was 16 and like struggling hard in my first year, but I came out strong. I was able to raise my GPA like significantly, and yeah, I just shared about my struggles like moving to America and like learning English and having to like assimilate and adjust like in such short time. And yeah, I think writing a good essay like was what really helped me be accepted to Berkeley. But my SAT score was pretty low, like lower than average of the applicants that got into Berkeley. But yeah. But it's a good school. I think if you don't mind the rainy weather, if you don't mind, I guess, like the cutthroat competitive environment, then it might be good. But I don't know, those reader classes like what really killed me and during the undergrad, especially like the first 2 years. But yeah, it's a good school, right? What major are you gonna be studying? Oh, your mom's Korean? I think Berkeley is more well known, I think, among like Asian community, right? Along with the Ivy League schools, right? They probably like especially like our parents' generation, they don't know probably where Northeastern or UIUC is probably, or Emory, Vandy, right? University of Michigan, but they know Berkeley, they know UCLA. And Asian parents, they care a lot about prestige, right? School value. So I feel like that's all they care about. Joe Billy, what time is it for you? It's 6:38 p.m. Yeah, so still early in the night. Would you ever stream gaming? Maybe if there's going to be watchers. Maybe when I hit 10,000 subscribers, I might start streaming gaming too. Yeah, probably just exclusively League of Legends because that's the only game I know how to play and I actually truly enjoy playing. I wanted to study chem, but I watched your video and I got scared. I think Berkeley is very well known for chemistry, right? I think it's the #1 in the nation. So if you really wanted to study chem, yeah, Berkeley is the one that you want to go get into. So yeah, but then again, it's pretty cutthroat, man. Like it's hard. But if you're smart enough, you know, you're gonna succeed. I feel like I wasn't smart enough to even get accepted there in the first place. So when, yeah, like as soon as first semester started and as soon as I started struggling and during the first semester, I knew that, oh, I made the wrong choice to go there. Yeah, it's really that competitive. It's very cutthroat. Yeah, it's so competitive. I freaking hated it. Yeah. And you know, like they talk about great inflation in Ivy League schools, right? And private schools like Stanford. You know, like UC's public schools, they have great deflation. So it's really hard for you to get an A. They really don't usually give out A's. But I heard like private schools is much easier to get A's. Yeah. It's really competitive. Well, you never know whether you're screwed or not. Like I've seen some really smart people do quite well, and when they graduate, you know, it's they get a good job, and yeah, like name of the school. I think it helps somewhat, like when you look for a job. But what really matters is like your experience and how truly smart you are, right? How hard you work. But I mean, if you're smart, if you're hardworking, whether or not you go to Berkeley or some other schools, I don't think it really matters that much. So if you're like smart enough, if you're hardworking, if you have great work ethics, you're gonna be fine. Whether you go to Berkeley or Cornell or UIUC, you're gonna be fine. It doesn't really matter where you went to school. And like name of the school only probably matters like when you try to look for your first job. After that, your jobs, what they look for is your experience, right? How qualified you are, how much you know, how much experience you have, and how good of maybe like social skills you may have. How good of a fit you are going to be in the company. So that's what those are the qualities they look for. They start to put less weight on what school you went to after your first job. So keep that in mind. I love watching your videos because I relate to them so much. HB1N, what do you relate to so much? Like, what do you relate to most? Because that's what I hear a lot from a lot of my viewers in the comments. They say like they relate a lot to my stories, and yeah, I'm always wondering what they relate to a lot. Yeah. Okay, so now what else am I going to talk about? Let's see. Let's open up my notepad. I have a bunch of YouTube topics. Let's see. So again, I'm going to give you guys two choices, like last time. Okay, let's see. Okay. First topic. Getting into a fight with my 16-year-old roommate in college. So my roommate was 16-year-old kid. He was like a math genius. And yeah, he got into like Berkeley right away. Like he didn't even go to high school, I believe. Yeah, he got accepted to Berkeley like at the age of like 15, something like that, and as a junior. So like when he started, he was there like a junior. Yeah, he already had enough credit to start as a junior. So that's the first topic. Second topic is about dating. So matching with this girl that lived in the same apartment as mine when I was at Berkeley. So again, there are two topics I can talk about, but you guys have to help me choose. First one is getting into a fight with 16-year-old roommate. Second one is matching with this girl that lived in the same apartment as me. So put that in the chat, and whichever has more vote, I'll share during this live stream. So GP Stan says, arguing with a 16-year-old genius. HB1N, matching with girl sounds really interesting. Okay, anyone else? That's tie right now. What motivated me to start my channel, GP? I just wanted to share my stories. I just thought that there isn't really... So I watch a lot of YouTube, and I realized that there wasn't that many channels that talk about what I talk about on my channel. So, and I felt like there's definitely a need and demand and a niche for my content, and I just gave it a try. So a lot of times on YouTube, you see a lot of people that are doing so well, they're really attractive, whatnot, how successful they are. That's all they ever talk about, right? I mean, they talk about failures too, but like, I think a lot of them really, I don't know, it was hard for me to like relate to a lot of YouTubers, because like the struggles I have gone through, it didn't really seem like they would be able to relate, right? And I definitely saw a niche. I was like, okay, I feel like there might be a niche, so why don't I start this? Like, why don't I like talk about this, right? And somehow it's kind of, I turned out to be right, because as soon as I started the channel, it gained like traction pretty quickly. I was able to like get 1,000 subscribers within, I think, 3 weeks or 2 weeks, which is like a huge, like really, really fast. When I looked up on Google, they said that like, it says that how like it takes 6 months to a year to get 1,000 subscribers on average, but I gained 1,000 like in a span of 2 weeks. So yeah. Alright, D-Hall, matching with girls in apartment. Joe Billy, 16-year-old roommate, arguing with a kid, matching with a girl in apartment. So I think that's 3 versus 3. It's still a tie. Decisions. I like how your audience are just chill people trying to live their life. Right. You know, like my audience, my viewers they're very, very supportive. They're very kind, they're very nice. right? Okay, since it's a tie, I'll decide. So this time, I think I'm going to actually talk about arguing with 16-year-old roommate, because last time I kind of talked about matching with a Tinder date, right? Through my last live stream. So if you had missed that, I'm going to upload that video as well. So yeah, feel free to watch it. But during this live stream, yeah, why don't I talk about arguing with a 16-year-old genius? All right, so here we go. So this happened when I was at Berkeley, right? I believe I was in my third year of college, and yeah, it was a semester of my third year, and I moved in to this dorm. It was a suite double, right? So it was just me and my roommate. And when I first saw my roommate, I was kind of shocked because he looked very young. He looked like a little kid. So I was like, what the heck, right? Is he really going to be my roommate? I mean, I don't have anything against like young kids, but it was just very weird because I was just expecting a college kid of my age, not a 16-year-old, right? Anyways, when we first met, I introduced myself, he introduced himself, and yeah, he seemed like a nice guy or a nice kid. And first week there was no issue. However, second week comes around, I noticed that he starts to play his video games on his laptop, which is fine. I'm a gamer. I have nothing against gamers, right? But then the problem was that he was using his headphones, right? Talking to his friend when he plays, and that's fine too. But the issue was that he would play his game pretty much every day, almost all day, well into the night, as late as like 4 or 5 in the morning. And this happened every freaking day. And how am I supposed to get asleep if I have my roommate right next to me playing video game on his laptop, talking to his friend? And he was playing I think he was playing Counter-Strike. So it's an FPS game, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Counter-Strike, but there's a lot of mouse clicking, right? I mean, I guess any video game there's a lot of mouse clicking, but there's a lot of mouse clicking, right? And it's pretty intense game, FPS, first-person shooting game, right? So even him without let's say he doesn't even talk to his friend, still you could hear you would hear loud mouse clicking and keyboards. And on top of that, he's talking to his friend all night, playing his video games. And I don't know, I was just trying to be patient with him, right? And I was like, you know what? I'll just let it go. Because I don't know, it was a little kid and I felt like he doesn't really understand, I guess, the concept of courtesy or the concept of quiet hours and whatever, right? And eventually I got used to it, and the first semester, so there was no issue with him. But second semester came around, it's still the same, right? He's playing his video games, and this is my mistake on my end though, but one time I had a girl over, and she ended up sleeping, right? And in my room. And I guess that really triggered or that really irritated my roommate, like how there was another person in the room that slept over. And he ends up freaking telling on like a resident, I don't know what it's called, I forget. But there's like a person that kind of manages like each floor. Like they live like in the dorm with us and on the same floor. And he goes and tells on me to this person that I had an uninvited a guest overnight. So that which escalated to have a meeting with the floor person. And that really actually pissed me off. Even if like at the time I felt like I should have let him know, or I should have asked him. But somehow I guess like I just assumed that it was gonna be okay, right? Because I was like giving him a lot of break when he was playing video games. And also on top of that, there was another thing I was giving a break for too. Like for example, like in our room we had a trash can we shared together, right? And he never ever freaking took out the trash ever. And throughout the whole first semester, I was the one that took out the trash. And he used the trash can just as much, but he never took out the trash. And again, I just let it go. But that one time I freaking like had a guest over, he can't let it go, right? But anyways, so it led to me had to have a meeting with a floor manager, and pretty much I didn't get a warning, right? And she was saying how, hey, like, and I was like, okay, like it was my fault. I'll admit it to that, like that was my fault. But I was like pretty much telling her, but like, you know, this is kind of like shitty situation for me because, you know, like I've been like giving her a lot of break. I feel like he has been breaking house rules too, because he was playing video games all day, all night, not respecting like the quiet hours, and I pretty much have to like sleep through like him while he's playing his video games with a friend overnight. And I put up with that, I let it go. But like this one time I made a mistake of having an overnight guest. Like he decides to tell on me, like calling me out. Like I feel like I'm like being treated like a bad guy here, but I'm not sure if that's fair. And like we have like a trash, so pretty much I was like telling her everything, right? Because I got pissed at that point. And then she was like, oh, like I didn't know that happened. And she was like, yeah, like you're right, like it's not fair for you to like, you know, like put up with that. He has to respect the quiet hours, and I'll have a meeting with him as well, right? So after that meeting, like I guess, yeah, she did have a meeting with my roommate. But like we're pretty much after that meeting, I was pretty pissed off, right? So as soon as I had a meeting, I kind of like confronted him, right? So I was like, let's call him John, right? Hey, like I was like, hey John, like I just had a meeting, like I'm sorry that like I brought a overnight guest without telling you. That was my fault. However, like I have been like putting up, and I've been trying to understand, like being like I've been trying my best to be like understanding of your situation, of you playing video game like all night long with your friend. You're like yelling and like screaming, and like I still like let it go, you know. I did not like call on you, like tell on you, you know. I know like how much you like your video games, and I let it go. And like this one time I make a mistake, like why couldn't you let me know first before you just go like straight to our house like floor manager and like call me out on it? Like I feel like that's unfair. And also like on top of that, like we share this trash can in the common area in our room. Like I was the one during the first semester, I was the one that was taking it out every time it was full. I've never seen you take it out. I still let it go. Like there are things that I like just put up with, I've been putting up with, still decide to let it go. Try my best to be understanding, but like, why couldn't you do the same? Like, why couldn't you like give me the benefit of the doubt like I did? And then, but that conversation did not go well. He was still like saying how like it's like you should not have done that, like you should not have like overnight guests, this breaking the rules. I was like, but you were breaking the rules too, like of not respecting the like quiet hours. You're not supposed to make noise during the quiet hours. Like, you're playing your video games, you're making like all those noise, mouse clicking and talking to your friend, right? Weren't you breaking the house rules too? And he was like, well, you know, like, I don't know, like he was trying to like make some excuses. Like he was like, oh, I let it go. But anyways, yeah, that's how it ended. And pretty much we didn't really like make up. After the argument, we were like cold towards each other, and we never really talked, unless we had to. So like before, like we'll say hi and like good morning and good night and whatnot, but now it's like all like very dry, very mechanical interaction. What ended up happening is that he actually decided to break the contract during the second semester, and move out of the apartment. And we never really like argued to the point where we ended up cussing at each other. It was very civil, right? I didn't really exactly raise my voice either, but like I was pretty like straightforward, right, upfront about it. But I guess that made him really uncomfortable maybe, and like the whole situation, we becoming like kind of awkward with each other, kind of made him really uncomfortable as well, which might have been the reason why he decided to move out. So that's what happened with arguing with my 16-year-old roommate. That was quite an experience. And I mean, looking back though, like I think, I don't know, I was like, you know, a couple of years older than him, and I still feel like I probably should have been like more understanding and like communicated better. So like when he playing video games with his friend late at night bothered me, I think I should have let him know, like communicated that with him. But like I just like me like letting it go, I think probably like had me just bottle up some resentment towards him, right? And I don't know, I think there was a lot of assumptions that was made on my end. So like I should have communicated. Maybe I was afraid to speak up too or bring it up, right? But so that's what happened. All right. All right, time to catch up with the chat. Here. Okay, B1N. How often do you stream, by the way? I gotta catch more. So now that my chemo treatment is over and I'm really much better, I plan to stream at least like twice a week. Yeah, I hope you come on, like HB1N. Like I really hope to see you more, and I really appreciate your support, by the way, and everyone else on the stream. All right, GP Stan. No way, dude. I'm getting a resident assistant involved if my roomie was staying up all night playing games. College is hard enough. Sleep is important. Yeah, like I said, like that's probably what I should have done. I should have gotten a resident assistant involved in the first place, but I don't know. I felt like might be making a lot of fuss over it, so I just decided to put up with it. Yeah. Damien, kids suck. I can't imagine being roommates with yeah, I mean, yeah, it was weird, like being a roommate with 16-year-old. That was so weird. Yeah. Okay, GP Stan, dang, he could have just had a conversation with you about it, but probably he felt awkward with, about it, right? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He probably maybe felt uncomfortable confronting me about it, right? So, yeah. Okay, Joe Billy, he's 16. He'll take advantage. Damien, you can't reason with a 16-year-old. It's like talking to a cat. Be dog free. Good night, everyone. Good night, be dog free. Thanks for coming on. Bye. Alright, Samuel, good to see you. Samuel Mark, did you end up happening to the girl you brought over? What do you mean? Happening to the girl I brought over? Hey, Kenny Lana, his parents' fault for not teaching him etiquette. My little brother is the same way, just play video games all day and wasn't raised to be considerate of others. Yeah, probably his parents might not have taught him some etiquette. Right? They might have taught him like how to be smart, but not how to be courteous, considerate of others, right? H1BN, hey Kenji, are you full Korean? Yes, I'm 100% made in Korea. Yeah, I was born and raised in Korea. Moved to the States when I was 15 with my family, but still full Korean. I still feel very Korean. I mean, I'm Korean, right? And even like language, I'm a lot more fluent in Korean than I am in English, right? So I'm still learning English every day. And yeah, I think when I speak English, I feel like I am less articulate. And also sometimes I have to it takes time for me to think about a certain phrase, how to say certain things. It takes a lot more brain power, right? Yeah. Actually, when I was in my one of my classes, cognitive science classes, I learned that so there are like two types of bilinguals. The first type is bilingual that learn their second language along with their mother tongue language. So how should I say it? So that learned second language when they were like young, right? Like as a baby or like as a really young kid, right? And then the second type is like people who learn the second language later in their life, right? Then that cutoff line is like later is considered after like you're 15 or 16. And in my class, like my professor showed the difference of like their brain activity between two groups. The one that learned their second language when they're very, very young, as a young baby or as a young kid, as opposed to the second group that learned their second language when they're older, right? Their brain region when they speak the second language is different. That the brain region that is used is very different. So like the first group, the brain region that lights up, that's used, right? So it's gonna light up in the MRI scan when they're using that brain to speak the second language, right? It overlaps with the region that lights up when they speak the first language, right? So it overlaps. As opposed to the second group that learned their second language later in their life, it's the brain region that lights up, it's actually there's not much overlap. And the conclusion or the what do you call it? Yeah, what you can draw from that difference of like the mapping of brain is that you basically, the second group that learned their second language later in their life, use up more brain power, brain capacity. My professor was saying. So it uses up more brain power, so it's gonna be like take up more energy, right? So for me, like I think I can definitely relate to that, because when I speak second language, yeah, I feel like I have to try hard to speak, right? And I feel like every time, I never share this, but like every time after I record my YouTube video or my live stream, I feel kind of exhausted mentally, right? Yeah, it's so interesting. As opposed to like, let's say like if I were to speak Korean, which is my mother tongue language, I wouldn't feel as fatigued. I feel like I could go on like even longer than usual had I spoken Korean instead of English, right? So sometimes like even, let's say like I made like live stream for like half an hour, I'm already feeling tired in my brain. Like I can't speak, right? Sometimes it's really hard for me to like keep going. And it's different than like physically feeling tired. Like it's like emotionally, mentally feeling tired. It's hard to put into words, but that's the best way to describe it, right? I hope that makes sense. Oh, Samuel, I meant the girl you brought to your dorm. Did you end up dating? Yeah, we ended up dating, right? Yeah, hey Clown World Junior, good to see you again. What's up? What happened to your other live streaming? Are you talking about my other live streaming? Those are like so like each live streaming after it ends, I make them like exclusive to the members. So yeah, I want to mention like I recently started membership. So if you guys there's some perks, right? When you join the membership, you get like a little nice badge next to your username. And also you get access to my live streaming, full live streaming video. I still upload like videos to like clips of videos from my live stream, so that everyone can watch. But if you want like full access, feel free to join the membership. I mean it like I'll be honest with you guys, like I feel kind of weird and I feel kind of bad for making it like exclusive to members, because like you have to pay more money to like get access to my content. That's how it makes me feel, right? That's why it took so long for me to actually launch my membership, because it just felt unfair for my viewers, right? Like you pay more money, then you get more stuff. But then like on the other hand, I feel like for me to like generate some kind of income, like this is, I'm trying, right? I'm trying to like create another revenue or avenue to generate like income. So this is something I'm trying. So I'm not sure if this membership feature is going to be permanent, but just consider that as like a tryout, right? For me to see like if it's generates more profit, that's sustainable. But like the very first reason why I do this, I created this channel, was to actually I just wanted to like meet people of like-minded people, and I wanted to share my thoughts, talk about my life. I just wanted to connect with people who may be able to relate to my stories, right? So that was the very first reason. And also the second reason though is like I like to like make side income. As you know, like I said earlier, I don't make much money right now, and I'm just trying my best to just be creative and just find every possible avenue for me to generate any sort of like additional income, right? That's gonna help me out So that's why I created this membership feature. So I hope that's okay with you guys. All right, the clown word junior. Don't worry, Kenji, you sexy guy. All right, HB1N. Damn, this is the UC Berkeley brain talking. You're funny. All right, HB1N again. I always thought you were Japanese because of the name Kenji. Yeah. I don't know, I think Japanese names sound cooler than Koreans. That's why I picked the Japanese name, right? But yeah, I'm fully Korean. Yeah, Damien, your English is really good. Though, impressive. Thank you. I try my best. Thank you, though. Also, yeah, I think, me speaking like this, right? Doing live stream, making videos, it gives myself more, opportunities to practice my English, right? So sometimes I may stutter, sometimes I may pause, but still, I think day by day, it gives me more opportunities for me to practice English. So I think it's good. Also, talking to you guys, reading the chat, it's it's an additional chance for me to learn more, right? So it's a win-win. Joe Billy, does the overlap change over time? That's a great question. If I remember correctly, no, it's pretty much permanent. Yeah, it doesn't change. So if they did a brain scan on my brain right now, so I've been here in the States for about how long? How long? 20 years? For a little over 20 years, right? If they did my brain scan on my brain, it would still show two separate regions that light up. So it doesn't change. Hey Moonlight Antonio, it's good to see you again. It's been a while, right? Antonio, it's good to see you. All right. Joe, do you like Korean history? Do I like Korean history? Well, not really, I guess. I feel like Korea country as a country itself, I feel like it has a pretty dark history, right? It was pretty corrupt throughout the entire history, and it got invaded by Japan. And a lot of Koreans blame Japan for invading Korea and colonizing it, but also at the same time they should need to reflect on the fact that a lot of the government or higher class were pretty much very corrupt, and they did not really try their best to protect their people, right? And throughout history they got invaded a lot, and I feel like they never really learned their lesson, right? On the other hand, Japan and China, they were really, even if they invaded, but they were really, it was right in the aspect that they did what they did to make sure their country was strong and wouldn't get invaded. And even if it got invaded, they wouldn't lose, right? So I think it's important for countries to have power, to have strength, so they wouldn't get invaded. But I honestly, I don't really know too much about Korean history. I think it's probably I shouldn't speak on that. Yeah, HB1N. I get that my name is Hyunbin, but I try to make my username cooler. Dude, your Korean name is Hyunbin, dude. Isn't that's the Korean celebrity name? Wow, you have a great name. I like your name. All right, GP Stan, getting 1,000 subscribers within a month while speaking a language you're still learning is very impressive. Oh, thank you. I think I just got lucky, honestly. All right. Stan, have you ever spoken on your thoughts about the 4B movement in Korea? If not, that might be an interesting video topic. What is 4B movement? I'm not too familiar. To be fair, you have lived here longer than Korea at this point. That's very, very true. Yeah. That's like, still, I feel like it's hard. It's a fact that it's hard for me to grasp sometimes still. Or wrap my mind around. Because, yeah, the fact that like I now have lived in America longer than I have lived in Korea. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Times pass so fast, right? Yeah. Okay. Time flies, man. Time flies. Stan, it's a movement that women should not be with men in Korea. What? That's wild. I didn't know about that one. Women should not be with men in Korea. Like, what do you mean? Like, women should not, like, date men? Or, like, should not be associated with men in Korea? Like, what do you mean by, like, should not be with men in Korea? Or, like, should not have anything to do with, like, Korean men? Or what? Because I know that there's a lot of tension right now, like, between gender in Korea, between men and women. HB1N, my mom said she would send me to Kunde if I don't get it. Dude, your mom is like pretty extreme. Hardcore. Dude, what the heck? No, there's no way you're gonna go to military just because you did not get into UC Berkeley. It's not end all or be all, right? You know, not getting into Berkeley, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of your life. And you already got into good school. I don't know why your mom is like making such a big deal out of it. Why is she like so obsessed with UC Berkeley? Like, the 4Bs stands. 4Bs are 비출산. Oh, 비섹스, 비출산. So no sex, right? And then no, 비출산 means no babies, right? No pregnancy. 비연애 means no dating. And 비혼 means no marriage. Oh wow. So that's like really extreme measures. I think I might actually have heard of this, 4B movement, now that you mention it. Wow, I mean, I don't agree with it. I feel like that's quite extreme measure they are trying to take on. Like, why are they trying to advocate for like no sex, no marriage, no dating, no pregnancy? Like, if they don't get pregnant, no families, right? I think it's too extreme. Like, who is it benefiting exactly? And what are they trying to achieve out of that? Like, for advocating like all those, right? I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand their intention. I still have my Korean citizenship. The Korean government would pick me up as soon as I land. Oh no, don't go to Korea then. No, if you don't renounce your Korean citizenship, yes, that's what's gonna happen. That's what I've seen like a lot on like some of the Korean news. From time to time, like randomly these, you know, American-born like Korean men or Korean boys, you know, when just naively or just like nonchalantly they just go to Korea to visit, and then they end up getting picked up at the airport when they try to leave, or when they land, they freaking take you in, and yeah, they put you in the military, right? So you gotta be like really, really careful. And I think if you have Korean citizenship, I think the way you have to formally renounce your Korean citizenship to avoid the draft. So make sure you do that if you don't want to end up getting picked up. Yeah, it is scary, right? The best way is don't go to Korea, and don't let your mom freaking force you to be sent to Korea just because you didn't get into to Berkeley, right? Just don't let that happen, dude. That's like the worst, right? You're pretty much getting double punishment. First, you didn't get into like Berkeley. Second, you're getting like forced into our military. That's wild. Wow, dude, your mom's sounds pretty harsh. Does she treat you okay? She doesn't beat you up or anything like that, right? Yeah. Oh no. Moonlight Antonio is not very popular in Korea though. Like the movement isn't as massive as Westerners made it out to be. There are even some Koreans that don't know about it. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be really weird if that idea, that movement was popular. Right? Like, why would you advocate for no dating, no sex? Like, it really goes against our instinct and nature, I think. Right? I mean, we all want to date someone. We all want to find someone we want to date and get married to. Most people want, I mean, not me, but like most people want to raise a family and have kids, right? A lot of people want to find their soulmate. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's deeply ingrained in us to want to find a lifetime partner we can spend the rest of our life together, and find also be able to trust, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we all want to love someone. We all want to be loved, right? Just like how our parents, our moms especially, like, they give unconditional love, right? As soon as their babies are born, they love their children. They want to provide for them. They want to look after them. They want to care for them. It's natural instinct. And yeah, we all have this natural instinct to want to have sex as well, right? To find a lifetime partner. Nothing wrong with that. So I don't know why they would try to advocate for something that goes against our natural will. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, like, why? Why willfully deny that? Like, I'm not willfully denying I'm not willfully like trying to deny myself that like sex or like dating someone or finding lifetime partner, right? I mean, so it's not voluntary for me. It's almost, but it's more like involuntary, right? Because even if I have been trying to find a lifetime partner or find a date, I'll go on like dating apps and try my best to find someone, but almost every time I fail miserably, and it's just so hard, it's so competitive to find someone, and it's just damn hard, right? So it's different than like me willingly like saying, I don't want to date anyone, I don't want to have sex, I don't want to get married, I don't need a partner. Like, I don't do that. I don't want to do that because that goes against my natural will, right? But like, yeah, I just don't get it. But it's more like, yeah, like, it's almost like the choice is made by other people, right? Not by me. Because the other people choose to not date me. Other people don't find me attractive, which is just how it is. But to say that, like, oh, like, I don't want to date you, I'm against dating, I'm against having sex, I'm against having kids, I'm against getting married. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't sound right. But like, I mean, to each of their own, I guess. You know, some people may have different beliefs, but certainly that's not something I find relatable, you know. Okay, let's see. Damien H will be one that has a tiger mom. Yeah, I think he does. Kani Lana, tell your mom she needs to get into Berkeley first. Dude, actually, you know, that's actually a really, really good advice. Because it's funny, because you know what? You know, a lot of these Korean parents that are so harsh and hardcore and to try to force their kids to go into good school, right? It's like they themselves never got into good school. They themselves actually never spent that much time and energy and effort in their life and their youth to like get into good school, to like study. But somehow like they tell their kids, oh, like this is for you, for your benefit. This is for your future. You need to get into good school. You must get into good school. You must get a great job, great career. You must become a doctor, lawyer, pharmacist, dentist. Like, you think I'm doing this for me? No. I'm doing this for you. This is for you. It's not for me. You know how hard I'm working? This is for you. It's not for me. I don't care, you know, I don't care about my work, but I only care because I'm doing this for you. So you better appreciate me. You better appreciate how hard I work. You better appreciate how, you know, when I got pregnant with you, or I helped you move here, I brought here like to the States with you so that you can fulfill your American dream, you know, like, you know how hard other people like living in Asian countries have, how hard their life is. You better appreciate, you know, like this life I was able to provide for you. So you better appreciate me. So you have better listen to me when I tell you you need to study hard, you need to like get into good school, because again, you know, this is for you. This is for your future, right? Okay, this is not about me. This is not about your mom. It's not about your dad. Okay, I don't care. Okay, I only care because I care about your future. So you better care about future. You better get into good school. Okay, so if you don't get into Berkeley, if you don't get into Ivy League school, okay, I'm gonna send you back. That's the conclusion they draw. I'm gonna send you back, right? So they come up with this like empty threats, right? To like intimidate you. To try to intimidate that, like, as if like that actually is gonna somehow motivate their children to try harder. I mean, scare tactic can work, but it only works maybe short term, right? But like long term, it never works. Scare tactic, like motivation, our internal motivation has to come from within, not from outside source, including your parents, right? So, yeah, I hope that makes sense. She went to, so HB1N. My mom went to SNU. I can't even do anything. I hear that so many times and it's all fake. I'm telling you. But at the same time, isn't it the parents' choice to have a child? Yeah, that's true. You know, they tell you all these things like how, as if like they're making so much sacrifice. And they are, you know, I think they are. I'm not trying to discredit their sacrifice, but when they make it sound like it was like your choice, or like you said, like it was their choice to have children, right? So they bear some accountability and responsibility to actually have to provide for you, right? But then like Asian parents, when like what they tell their children, like they make it sound like they're somehow like forced to have children or something, right? It was their choice to have their kids. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand why they would like really try their best to guilt trip their children to try to motivate them to try harder, right? Yeah. Yeah, Moonlight Antonia, more like they want to live vicariously through their children, which is sometimes the case. I think it's actually mostly the case. You know, like these Asian parents that shove down their dream or like their agenda. I feel like they have like a hidden or implied agenda when they try to shove down their kids' throat, like this like whole dream of like going to good school, getting good career, getting a great job, making lots of money. I think they try to live vicariously, like you said, and it's not a good thing. You know, like they need to live their life. Should not try to live their life through their kids. But a lot of parents do, and I feel like that's wrong, right? They need to be responsible, accountable for their own life. But because they realize they cannot fulfill their long gone dreams they may have had in their youth, now they're trying to pass it on to their children, right? So like, for example, like parents who might have dreamed of like becoming a lawyer or a doctor in their youth, but they couldn't for any reason. Now, like they try really, really hard, even just by forcing their kids to become a doctor. And yeah, and when their children become a doctor, they feel like they becoming a doctor too, right? It's kind of fucked up, actually. Yeah, certainly. Like, yeah, they do use their children as some kind of trophies to compare. Yeah, like you know, Pokemon, right? So you know how they are, like when they have like family gatherings with relatives on New Year's Eve, whatever, Chinese New Year, they gather, and then like if their kid got into good school, you know, they have to bring it up, right? And then the competition, like the brag matching starts, right? Oh my God, my kid got into UC Berkeley. Oh, congratulations, but my kid got into Harvard. You know, UC Berkeley is a good school, but you know, my kid got into Harvard, so okay. So my kid is better. I did better. I win. Right? It's crazy. Yeah. Oh, you Missy USA, I know that site. Oh my God, your mom's always on that? Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, HB1N, but you definitely have a tiger mom if your mom's on that site all the time. Right? Yeah, or an accountant, you're right. Hey, Brent Campbell. Hey, Kenji, how tall are you? Okay, guess. Can you take a guess, Brent? Take a wild guess. A very wild guess. 5'8"? Nope. I wish I was 5'8". I wish I was 5'8". 5'9" now. I wish I was 5'9". SLF 5'6". Yes! Good job, SLF. Great job, SLF. 5'6" I am. Quite short. Quite short. Quite short. I saw like on this Korean show where this like women was saying how any man that's like not even 6 foot, they're not a man. Like they're not a true man. And like I'm like, dude, like forget 6 foot. I'm not even like 5'7" or 5'8", 5'11". Yeah. Short king. Oh man. HB1N, I would love to hear about your experiences growing up and your high school life. Oh yeah, for sure. Today, probably not today, but yeah, like my next, on my next live stream, yeah, feel free to join and remind me now. I'll definitely share my life experiences growing up and my high school life for sure. Yeah, no problem. But feel free to stop by, okay? I really want to see you more. I think I definitely share a lot of probably high school stories or high school experiences, childhood trauma from our tiger parent, right? Tom Cruise is 5'7". Oh, but that's Tom Cruise. I mean, dude, he has like beautiful face. Right. Is there like a schedule or anything for your live streams? There's no like set schedule, but usually I live stream around the evening. I plan to live stream like around the evening time when I'm not working. So probably around this time. Yeah. If you're already like subscribed to my channel and if you turn on the notification, I think you will get a notification probably every time I go on live. Right. Hey Ace, good to see you again. Thanks for all your kind wish, all your love. Thank you. Yeah. Oh man, I'm kind of getting hungry now. How long has it been since I started? Oh wow, it's been almost 2 hours. All right. Brent, was this the first stream or were there ones before? Yeah, there were actually more, like couple more, like 5 or 6. But I mentioned again, like I recently tried something new and I launched a membership feature, and right now after my live stream is over, it's going to upload and it's going to be available to members only. Again, that's something I'm trying out right now. So yeah, I mean, feel free to join the membership if you can for extra support. You can have like access to my live stream in full and also get a very cute badge. Okay, very cute badges. All right. Like let me show you like these kind of badges, or you get emojis. These are emojis, but like these kind of emojis, and also you get badges too. Yeah. Thank you. Search emojis. What is this? Oh, there's... Mula Antonio, kind Ken just argued with someone before. I can't believe it. Not kind Kenji. Dude, Antonio, I'm not that kind. I may look kind, but no. I have argued a lot with different people. Not so much anymore though. I think I just have no energy to argue now that I'm older. But I think when I was younger, I was definitely full of energy. I was quite feisty too, right? Hey D Hall, hey Kenji, during the 4B discussion, did you mention not desiring a family of your own? If so, is that because of the housing expenses and income, or is that just a personal choice? I think it's mainly a personal choice. So the reason why I don't want to start a family, or I think I want to have a wife, but I just don't want children. Because I think I may have shared this, but I have ADHD, and that has been like really messing up, like made my life 10 times harder pretty much. And it's still hard. It's still affecting my life in every aspect. My work, my relationships with people, just daily living. It makes my life a lot more difficult. So there's like a lot of like impulsive things I do, and including like, you know, my gambling history, right? And my gaming addiction too. And it's just really hard for me to control my impulses a lot of times. And I don't want my children to have that. I don't want to pass down that genes. Like, I don't want my kids to struggle with this ADHD like I may have. And there's a good chance that I might pass it down. And also on top of that, I feel like I'm not going to be a good dad. Probably. Again, like it's just like raising children is going to be really hard in and of itself already. And I mean, my life itself, it's hard enough. Like, I can't barely keep up with my own life, and bringing children into this life, into this world, and into my life, I think I'm just not sure if I can provide what they need when I myself struggle with life already. So I am afraid that I'm not going to be a good dad, right? But I don't mind having a wife, right? Just not children. So, you know, like when I met with my radiation doctor, she was asking me if I like to preserve some of my sperms, seeing how radiation could kind of like have side effects of like infertility. Is that how you say it? And I told her straight up, like, no, it's okay. Like, I don't want kids. I mean, maybe I might change, but I felt like certain that I don't want children. So I just told her straight up, like, I don't want kids. So probably I don't need to worry about like saving some sperm for later use. So she was like, okay, that's fine. But if you change your mind, let me know. And I haven't changed my mind still. Yeah. Alright, Kim Yo Jong, you are a handsome guy. It's just ridiculous that women don't recognize that. I don't know, my real life experience on dating website or dating apps, and like my interactions with women in the past says otherwise. You know, I have been called like ugly, straight up ugly, like by some women. Or I guess they said it nicer, right? That I'm not attractive, or I'm not their type. You know, like, and even nicer way for them to, or for us men though, like it's not exclusive to men, but for them to say that, like, oh, like, let's be friends, right? Let's be friends. When I ask them like out, or when I tell them I'm interested in them romantically, when I try to pursue them, yeah, like a lot of times the response I get is like, oh, you know, Kenji, you're a nice guy. Thank you for letting me know. It's really kind of you for letting me know. And then ends with, oh, but like, you know, we should be friends, right? Savage. And like when people tell them or tell you that, oh, we should be friends. You know what that essentially means is that I don't mind your presence around me, but your genes should not survive another generation. That's what they're essentially telling you if they tell you we should be friends. Again, it means I don't mind your presence around me. Okay, I don't mind being around you. I don't mind you being around me. But your genes should not survive. You should not pass down another generation. Is it true or not? I think I'm right. Right? Ace, you could always adopt as well. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't mind adopting. Yeah, I'm really down to adopt later when I feel more ready, probably. HB1N, I'm calling you Hyung Kenji from now on. No, you should not call me Hyung. You should call me Samchon. You should not call me Hyung. I'm too old to be called Hyung. Right? You should call me Uncle Kenji. Damien, I wouldn't have kids at 40 or later anyways. Too hard. I am 40 and got no energy for that. Yeah, as you get older, that idea of having kids kind of fade. It's naturally, I feel like. You start to realize you might be too old, to raise family or to raise children. Right? D Hall, makes sense. I'm an extreme introvert and worry that the world is harsh if my kids turn out that way. Idealized idea of having kids when younger, but not now. Now, not so much. Yeah, right. As you get older, also I'm an extreme introvert too. So I think, also, right. Being introverted. When you have kids, you definitely have to play with them a lot, right? And you have to take them to places because they're full of energy. But if you're an introvert, dude, it's gonna suck for both of you and the kids, right? It's not gonna be very enjoyable, right? Man, I relate to you, D Hall, so much. Being extra introvert, sucking the energy out of you, man. Every social interaction, every outside energy when you go out, man. It's so exhausting. It's so draining, isn't it? Kim Yo-jung, I know that feeling. Just wholeflation and hypergamy, bro. Okay, let's not jump too far, okay? Alright, Moonlight Antonio, that's cool, yeah. SLF, I took a girl up on their offer of being friends. We were friends for 6 months and then she ghosted me. Go figure. Oh my god. Dude, I think that's happened to me so many times too. It's like getting friend zoned or they want to be friends and then getting ghosted. But what can you do? There's nothing you can do. You just gotta move on, right? I think you get used to it eventually. Rejections don't start to feel not as bad. It still feels bad, but not as bad, right? HB1N, Uncle Kenji with fire life advice. I hope I can give you guys good advice. And also I hope I can get a lot of wisdom and advice from you guys as well, which you do actually. you guys, during my live stream, in my comments, in the comment section, you guys share a lot of wisdom. And, I read every comment and I try my best to reply to, most of them and I feel like I get a lot of insights too from reading your comments. I get a lot of insights and it's really, really helpful. And I learn a lot. So I'm really, really glad that I started this channel and, full of like really great viewers and great community I have on my channel, right? You guys are really, really kind, and the wisdom, the insights you guys bring to the table is just tremendous. It's just priceless, right? So I really appreciate that. Yeah. Moonlight Antonia, 아저씨 Kenji, yup. I think, actually, even uncle is like too young. I'm 아저씨, an old man. Alright, I can't read your Japanese name, but you say, I think to a certain degree must be true since someone can provide the same level of comfort and affection, but if they are not conventionally attractive, then they are less likely to be liked back. Yeah, that's very, very true. So physical attraction is the very first thing you need in order for you to attract someone. It's just how it is. Just and I mean, it's not always the case. Sometimes someone may grow on you, right? But a lot of times, most of the case, you have to physically attract to that person in order for you to feel the wants and the desire to, move past that friendship, right? And I'm the same too. Like I feel like for me, I need to be physically attracted to a girl for me to want to pursue a romantic relationship with them. And not a lot, but in the past I've had a very few girls fess up to me that they like me, right? But unfortunately, like none of the girls that fessed up to me I was attracted to. So I had to let them know and just be friends, right? You can't really be friends or you can't really be in a romantic relationship with someone you don't feel physically attracted to, right? And like physical attraction though is like an interesting thing because sometimes it's not just about your like facial feature or whatnot, right? But it can be other things too, right? Sometimes even like physical attraction can be like I strongly believe like a vibe from a person, like a certain vibe that some people find attractive, right? So it could be like someone's charisma, right? Or it could be their sense of humor, right? It could be many things. Or maybe like a way people like may smile or certain mannerism. It could be many things. So it doesn't have to be like your height as a man, like your tall height or good facial features. But I mean, a lot of times it's those. But sometimes women are attracted to like different things. So don't lose hope, I guess. Kim Yo-jung, as a bi guy, I think you're attractive. I prefer women though. Thanks, I guess. Thanks, I guess. Clown World Junior. Kenji, is there a lot of racism people? No, I haven't really run into like racist. That many racist. I wouldn't say so. Not in California, dude. Yeah, not in California. HB1N. I go to competitive high school, and in my grade, some girls have GPA requirements. What? What do you mean, like GPA requirements, like to be able to date you, or what? Yeah. Yeah, the vibe is important, right? The vibe is very important. A lot of people may not realize, but vibe is very important. Right. It's like that. It's weird. It's certain vibe. Some people exude, right? Give off of them. Like, it's sometimes weird, and sometimes like they may be really attractive, but like the vibe they give is, it's just, it feels wrong, and it's hard to approach them, right? This happened to me too. Like, sometimes I find a girl really, really attractive because they're really pretty and whatnot. But then, like, the vibe they give out is, like, really weird. And I don't feel attracted to them anymore because of that vibe. Damien, Kenji's popular with the guys. Yeah, that's true. Because, my channel, it shows, like, certain stats, right? Like, it shows like the demographics of my viewers, and I think it was, last time I checked, it was like 80% guys and 20% women. So you go figure. You go figure, brother. Good point. There's a lot play into attraction. Though I will say, if you aren't the best looking, you ought to have a very good vibe. By the way, my user is pronounced Kiko. Kiko, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you gotta have the killer vibe. Antonio, I like beautiful women, but if she looks like a bill, I don't want her. What do you mean? Like, what does that mean when you say, like, she looks like a bill? Are you talking about, like, a gold digger? Like, high maintenance girl? I've never really dated someone who's a gold digger, though. Yeah, a lot of times, like, I think girlfriends I had, they were all nice to me, and a lot of times when we pay the bills, they either split, or I think they ended up paying more. Clown World Junior, Kenji also popular among girls too? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Clown World Junior. Yo, Bunga, good to see you. Been a while, Bunga. Yo, Kenji, have you gone through your annual performance review yet? Yeah, I have gone through an annual performance review already. And I shared this in one of my videos, but yeah, my annual review, performance review came out really good. Like, most of them were like above average or superior. But my company decided to just give her a same flat raise. Yeah, regardless of your performance review. So I was pretty disappointed. I was pretty let down. But what can you do? I still got a raise, so. Alright, Hyunbin, Kenji, do you have tips for dating in high school? Oh man, I'm the wrong person to ask, because I had one girlfriend, in high school, but that didn't work out so well. And also, I think, I think dating now is quite different than how it was for me back then, right? It's already like more than 2 years ago since I was in high school, and I feel like I'm not the right person to give you tips for dating in high school. Technovic, I think the major audience are men as they relate to your life story. Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true. I think a lot of men relate to my failure stories, especially, right? When it comes to dating, right? But like they relate a lot to my struggles and having a hard time finding a date, getting ghosted, getting rejected, just failure over failure after failure, right? So I think, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they relate to a lot. They relate a lot to my stories. Bunga, work got hella busy, man. Good to see you doing well. Oh no, hope you're doing okay, Bunga. Yeah, good to see you though. It's been a while since I saw you. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Oh man, 37 viewers now? Wow, that's a lot. SLF, 25-cent raises are amazing in the corporate world. That's funny. Kind of true, I guess. Yeah. You know, they try their best, the corporate, they always try their best to not give you, a raise, right? They always try to find a reason why they can't give you a raise. And they have to come up with some lame-ass reason why they can't give you a raise, right? Random, how old are you? Can you guess? Alex Kim, what about dating in the university? I've just started uni. Maybe Alex, I would encourage you or advise you to work on yourself first. Especially, work on your physique. Hitting the gym is gonna help you out a lot if you can get a nice physique. It's gonna draw attention from females for sure. Even if you may not be blessed with good looks, but if you can't get your physique right, you're going to gain some attention. Once I am done with my treatment, I'm gonna get back into working out, and hopefully I'm gonna get back in shape. Yeah, so that's gonna help you out a lot. And also, don't be a simp. That's what I was when I was in university. I think I've put a lot of women on pedestal, and I've pretty much idolized and worshipped women. But don't do that, because it makes you look really, really desperate, and I think it's a big turn off for any woman when a man is desperate. I'm not trying to say that you should pretend to play cool or whatnot, but genuinely be you should try your best to not be desperate. So instead of trying so hard to not look desperate, but try your best to not be desperate. I think there's a difference between the two. The first is you're kind of playing this facade, right, of trying to not look desperate, but the second is you're actually not desperate because you are working on yourself. You're focused on your life. You're on your goals, and I think it kind of gives off a vibe of confidence and high self-esteem, and I think that's a positive trait that attracts a lot of women, right? All right. Antonio, her clothes are all luxury brand, super expensive, etc. Her parents spoil her, and so she expects the same treatment from it, right? So kind of spoiled, high maintenance, right? Type of women, right? Yeah, I've never dated such women before either. Those are not my type. Yeah, it's gonna be very, very hard for you to be able to satisfy that type of women now. All right, random. You guessed I'm 20 to 25. You guessed wrong, man. You're so far off. I'm 39. Stan, potential gym vlogs. Oh man, it's gonna be so hard for me to try to vlog and edit at my gym, because It's so cringy, like, ugh, I can't. Probably not. Definitely not. Yeah. Antonio, yes, the worship of women. That's right. What tea am I drinking, Clown World Junior? I have what is chai tea? So this is chai tea, and then I mixed it with some mushroom powder. So I guess you could call it chai mushroom tea. Oh, my tea is already cold now. Kenji, what's your bench press? I don't do bench press anymore. It's pretty light. But when I used to, I think it was like 100, 120. Pretty low. I'm weak. I think most Kiko, I think most women like stability, so they gravitate towards men who seem to have their life together. Yeah, that's true too. Right. Women are attracted to men who have stability, right? Especially older women, right? Who are looking for a lifetime partner, right? Who are ready to get married. I think those women in that age group, I think they put more weight and emphasis on guys' stability. And it could be financial stability, but also it could be like mental stability too, because older men tend to be more mentally stable too, right? Like less emotionally volatile, right? And I think it's a positive trait when men are less volatile, less reactive. They are more calm, they're more stable, right? So Technovic, some people just give up on working out as they think their short height will neglect all other aspects of their body. Yeah, but yeah, that's true, right? Because like you said, they think it's not gonna help them as much, and to some degree, like I agree with that perspective, right? How like I feel like I'm too short, like even if I work out, it's not gonna help that much. Why bother, right? And I can kind of relate to that. But then, what else can you do? Like, still, if you are a 5, or let's say like you're a 5, right? But if you work out and get into really good physique, you can be a 6, or even like you can push for a 7, right? So you can improve. There's always room for growth. But it's gonna be really, really hard. But what is the alternative? Like, are you just gonna like give up and just rot in your unfulfilled, untried, less version of yourself? Are you just gonna be like complacent with your less version of like yourself where you're at? I don't know. Like, I think we should all always try our best to improve and better ourselves. Antonio, it's impossible to please them unless you can afford to pay that bill. I feel like there's no point trying to please them, right? Because like to them, probably you're just their ATM. No. Yeah. But I don't know. I haven't like came across such women. Luckily, maybe I might have been like really lucky, but like women I have dated, they were all pretty nice. They were genuine. They truly cared about me, and we had a great relationships a lot of times. Antonio, I know a short guy who worked out and said he inspired by Krillin because he got the hookup with Android 18. I don't know what you're talking about. Who's Krillin and Android 18? Let me look it up. Android 18? Oh, you're talking about Dragon Ball. Krillin, the Dragon Ball character. Oh man, you're funny. Kim Yo-jong, getting ripped for women can work, but do you want to keep that up for life for some mid? Yeah, that's another thing though. You bring up a good point, right? Because yeah, it's gonna be hard for you to like keep up with getting ripped and being in shape. But I think definitely initially that's what you can do. But I mean, I'm not saying that like you should do it like permanently. Probably like as you get older, your values change, and the women that you might meet or you might be in a relationship with as you guys get older, their values might change too. So, you know, like getting ripped, getting in a good physique might help you to get women or attract women initially, but what keeps them, I feel like you need more than just ripped body, or that's not going to be the determining factor for women to stay with you, right? You need other values, you need other traits, other positive aspects that you can provide for women. And I don't think getting ripped is like one of them, right? Random, considering that you look young, like in your early 20s, do you prefer dating someone 35 plus or someone younger? Older women might think you look too young. You know, I think I prefer women in their 20s probably, because like women in my age group, they actually don't even think that I have, or like they don't, because women in my age group, what they look for is stability, and I don't think I have that. So they look really like I get past instantly. So I live with my parents as a 39-year-old. What kind of woman is going to actually be attracted to that? Think about it. I ranted about this earlier in my doing my live stream earlier, but I cannot even afford a one-bedroom apartment. What kind of women will be attracted to that? To someone who can't even afford their own place, a one freaking bedroom, right? So like when we go on a date and then we hit it off, and she wants to like come visit me and whatnot. She wants to like maybe grab a drink or whatever, and then like we don't have a place to go. Am I gonna invite her over to my parents' house? And I still have to live with my sister too. My youngest sister is still here too. So that's not a very attractive trait for most women in their 30s who are looking for a man who is independent. I'm not independent. I still live with my parents. So I'm not independent. I'm not financially independent. And also I'm not emotionally independent either. If you think about it, I have not physically separated from my parents. A lot of women will consider that as also not only not physically independent, but emotionally not independent, right? So yeah, that's the reason why I probably prefer women in their 20s, because I feel like I might actually have a better chance with women in their 20s, because I feel like women in their 20s might be more forgiving than women in their 30s, because they want to settle down, right? And they're like women in their 30s, they want to settle down, but women in their 20s, they're not really thinking about settling down. So whether or not I'm independent, to them, it's like, it's not a deal breaker, I would say. So yeah. And like when I was on dating apps, also like I would set my like age range of women from like 20 to like 40, right? And I would never get a like from women in their 30s. Rarely, very rarely. Like it was so interesting. And like those dating apps, I have to put down my height, my job and whatnot, right? And yeah, I would never get a date or request or match with women in their 30s. Sad truth. Yeah, clearly it's bald, right, Antonio? Yeah. But he got fit, right? He got fit. Alright. Kim Yoja, at least learning to play an instrument stays with you more or less. That's true. Let's see. What kind of race of background women do you prefer? I think I prefer Asian women for sure. Cause I don't know, I feel like culturally I feel more connected to them. I don't think I've ever dated outside Asian actually. Let's see. Let's see. Andrew, what do you do for a living again? I intentionally don't disclose that on my channel. Hope you understand. But I work at a low paying job. That's all I can say. Joe Billy. Have you heard of Shang Nu? Who's that? Damien, should roll with it and be like, oh, I'm 20. Samuel Mark, what is the main reasoning for why most relationships don't work out in your opinion? This is my guess, but I feel like after the event of dating apps, people are given too many choices. And what ends up happening is that, we end up believing in this illusion of having a lot of choices, when in reality it actually may not be the case. But it doesn't matter if it's real or not, because it still feels like we do have a lot of choices. We get this illusion of choices. By signing on dating apps, instantly you get a huge pool of different people, different individuals, right? Different women or different men. And when you're given a lot of choices, why would you want to settle? Why would you want to settle with your current relationship if there is going to be, or it feels like there might be a better option out there, right? So I think that might be why. Also, I think maybe people are just scared of the idea of like settling down when our economy is so uncertain, and we don't know if we'll be able to, I guess, afford raising a family. Because when people are in a relationship, like the end goal, I think for most people is to get married and raise a family. However, raising a family, getting married, it's scary for a lot of people, right? I mean, it's scary for me. So, yeah, a lot of people just probably kind of like the idea of like staying in a relationship without fully being committed to that relationship. So they always want that, have that option of like having an exit, pretty much exit plan, being able to call it quit when things don't work out in their relationship. But when you are married, when you have children, it's going to be much more difficult for you to get out. I don't know, just my guess. SLF, I'm in the same boat, sort of. I have my own place, but I can't afford a car. Want to switch spots. Damn. That's a tough call. Because I need a car to go get to my work. So do you like use public transportation? How do you get around places? Do you walk all the time? Andrew, it's okay, I understand. Also, I'm turning 31 and still with my parents trying to get into med school. So I kind of understand the no independence. Oh, wow, you're trying to get into med school? Damn, you must be really, really smart. Clown Word Jr. Women can order a model man. Dating allows women to order a model. That's true, yeah. Men can order model women too, right? Joe Billy, Shangnu is a Chinese cultural thing. The Chinese men say they prefer a cake past 25th of December over a woman past 25. Chinese. Wait, I don't understand. Shangnu is Chinese cultural thing. The Chinese men say they prefer a cake past 25th of December over a woman past 25. Also, like, are you saying that like they prefer women older than 25? Is that what you're saying? Hyunbin, Kenji, how long do you usually stream? I usually stream for like an hour or two, but today I guess I'm ending up streaming a little longer because I feel more energy. And I started streaming like a little bit earlier than usual. Still only 8:30 at night where I'm at, so it's not too late. SLF, I walk, lift, Turo, plus I work remote. Oh, you're the boss. You work in remote and you walk, lift. So you doesn't it cost a lot of money to lift though? And Turo? Lift is not cheap. Hey, Moon Whisperer, good to see you again. What is your ideal women? Ideal women, someone I feel attracted to, but women who has a kind heart and who shares similar values as me, who is a good listener, who is kind and calm, excuse me, who is intelligent. I don't know. Who can get along with me? And who doesn't have crazy vibe, I guess. Random. Have you thought about giving up dating altogether and focusing on other goals? Yeah, maybe kind of. Like I think right now I'm really focusing on my goals. Right now my focus is definitely my cancer treatment and also financial goals. Saving as much as I can to hopefully be able to like have enough down payment for a house. But definitely like I'm not going to be able to save enough to buy a house in California. So like somewhere in Nevada or Texas. The other day I looked at properties in Nevada and Las Vegas specifically, and it was interesting. They had these like renovated apartments or suite / apartments that seemed like they renovated their hotels, right? So it was like, it looked like a hotel inside and outside, and you get like all these like amenities, like they have their own dining hall, and it seemed pretty nice. And the price was only right. I say only because like it was a lot cheaper than anywhere in California, but it was only like $300K, $400K. So it's like almost half, more than half the or less than half the price of median house in California. So it seemed a lot more affordable, but definitely it's not a regular house because you only get like a 1 bedroom and 1 bath. Sometimes some of the cheaper ones, they didn't even have a bedroom. It was just like a studio, right? So it was just a common room, and with a bed and little kitchen, and that's it. But still, like I mean, as long as I can't have like my own place and I can own it, I think that's great, because I really hate the idea of paying rent. Not that, because you don't really build equity, but also like rent, they keep raising the freaking rent, and you're pretty much every year, every renewal period of your lease, you're at the mercy of your landlord, and a lot of landlords don't have mercy. So every year you get kind of screwed by getting your rent increased, right? So I just hate it. I just hate the idea of paying rent. So I just want to get out, and I just want to own property. I just want to own a house. Doesn't matter what kind of house, as long as it's cheap, it's affordable, and as long as I can like pay it off as quickly as possible. Like the conventional mortgage is 30 years, but I think it's too long. The other day I was watching this documentary about how the idea of mortgage started all like long ago, and back then, like 60s, 70s, 80s, like it was not like 30-year mortgage was not a thing, like 50s, 40s. I'm not sure if I'm getting the years right, but basically back in the history when like people were buying houses back in the days, 30-year mortgage did not exist. It was more like 10-year, 5-year, or 15-year mortgage. And then now they extended it to 30-year mortgage because to make it, like for the banks to make it more affordable for the general audience, right? And you would think that's a good thing, but it's not really a good thing, because the longer you are put on a mortgage, the longer period you are paying the interest, the longer period your mortgage is accumulating the interest, right? So it's not really a good thing for a buyer for you to have such a long time paying into your debt. So it's not really a good thing. So if I ever end up buying a house, I definitely want to pay it off within like 15-year period or even less. I really want to aim for like 10-year or even less. So yeah, I'm definitely not gonna like let it sit there for 30 years. If you think about it, I don't know if you may know, but if you run the numbers and let's say, so like in California, the median SoCal, the median house price is like 900K where I'm at. And if you buy the house with, let's say, like 10% down, so you're still borrowing like 800K, right? And if you take out a 30-year mortgage, over the 30-year period, do you know how much of interest you're going to end up paying over a 30-year mortgage? $1 million. If you go to like nerdwallet.com and you put in the numbers, like at an interest rate, like, I don't know, like 5 or 6%, you're going to end up paying like $1 million or close to $1 million. So you think that you're buying a $900,000 house, but you're not. You're actually buying $1,900,000, almost close to a $2 million house. So interest, you end up paying more in interest than in the principal, pretty much, which is just asinine, right? It's just absurd how much of interest you end up paying. And a lot of people, including myself, don't know this, or I didn't know this, right? Until I looked further into it, and I was quite surprised to find out that, yeah, you end up paying a lot in interest. So you better be careful when you take out a 30-year mortgage. It's a scary thing, but people do it because you think you're paying like equity or building equity, and you are. But the thing is that a lot of equity, it's eaten by the interest, right? So you just gotta be careful. You definitely don't want to take time when you take out a mortgage for 30 years. All right, let's catch up with the chat again. Billy, no, they say a cake past the 25th of December is still good, but a woman past 25 old is not. Man, that's brutal. So that's what Shangnu means? Shangnu. SLF. Two-row expensive. Lift is about $20 average around here. Oh, okay. I don't know how often you use Lyft though. No? Like when you go grocery shopping, do you still use Lyft, or do you take a bus, or you walk? Because I feel like still even $20 is kind of a lot, because that's like how much money I'll pay to fill up half the tank for my car. Walk maxing. Clown word junior. Alright, Kiko. I feel it's the motivation behind relationships that determines the outcomes. Seeking stability, validation, sexual satisfaction, etc. Starting dishonest relationships like boarding a sinking ship. Very, very true. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. Samuel Mark. Toxic relationships are so common right now. It just really sucks. That's true. Antonio, you're saying good things, Kenji. It's important to know what you want in a person, and I'm sure with all your experiences you already know what you want. I hope I do. I hope I do know what I'm talking about. I hope I do know what I want. Sometimes, like what happens is that you think you know what you want. You think you know what you're talking about. but when you actually in reality you don't. And what really kind of messes you up is that, like, when you have this strong conviction that you know what you want, that's what gets you, right? Because your conviction is so strong that you don't realize you may be wrong, right? And like, just because you're so certain doesn't mean that, you know, it's true. Like, certain, like, some people, you know, who may be like arrogant, who may feel like they, you know it all. Sometimes their flaw or fallacies that, they are so full of themselves and they are full of confidence. They don't leave room for, like, admitting or realizing that they may be wrong. And when people don't leave room for growth, then they don't learn, right? Because they don't leave that room for growth. So they end up spending entire of their life delusionally believing that they already know, they already got it figured out. So they don't even try to learn from other people. They don't even try to admit when they're wrong. They just go with this really, like, strong conviction that they're right. And they end up not improving, not bettering themselves. Right. Esther, I'm going to bed. Glad to see you're okay, Kenji, and your chemo went well. Good night. Oh, Esther, I didn't know you're here. Good to see you again. Good night. All right. Just be rich. Antonio, so then you're saying what you want might change over time? Yeah. You know, our values change all the time. Our desires, our wants, our needs change all the time. It can change over time because of where you are in life stages. It could change because of new life experiences you may have gained over time. It may change based off of the people you might run into. Right? It could be anything. Moon Whisperer, have you dated a Chinese or any non-Korean women? Yeah, I have dated Chinese women. I think I actually have dated mostly Chinese girls, not Korean, for some reason. Okay, Cloud World Jr. I'm stuffed, Kenji, so much protein. That's good that you worked out, Cloud World Jr. though. Right? That's good. Good stuff. So much protein. Random. Why don't you stay with your parents, save money, invest, etc., and then move to a developing country like the Philippines and Indonesia when you saved up enough? Yeah, that's my plan, but living with my parents is not easy though. As a full-grown ass man, we have a lot of differences and sometimes we still argue. Because, you know, we're different, right? There's a lot of cultural difference too, because they, you know, grew up and spent most of their adult life in Korea, whereas like I mostly grew up here now and spent most of my life here. So definitely there is a clash. There's room for clash. And you know, I don't know if you guys have heard of a such thing called, like, we are not only the children of our parents, but we are the children of our culture. And definitely there is generational differences in culture too, right? So, the other day, like, when I was arguing with my parents, I wondered, is it actually me clashing with my parents, or is it my culture clashing with their culture they grew up in, right? Now it's not so clear to me. This whole time I used to believe that, oh, it's me between, like, it's me versus my parents. It's me arguing with my parents, right? But then now I'm like, actually, I don't think it's entirely the case. I don't think it's the entire picture. I feel like sometimes it's more about my culture clashing with their culture. That's where all the differences, that's where all the tensions come from, because we grew up in a different culture. So because we grew up in a different culture, our values are different too. Even if my parents, we share a lot of common values, but there are different values too, right? Because they grew up in Korea and I grew up in here. So yeah, but that's kind of my plan. Yeah, like continue to live with my parents and save up enough money, invest and whatnot. Kim Ya Jung, we can tag team some Chinese girls. How about it? Okay, sure. Bring it on. That sounds like a good plan. You're funny. Samuel Mark, did you invest in stocks, Kenji? Yes. So, almost 2 years ago, or actually 1 year ago, that was the first time I first started investing in stocks and with my 401k, the very first year. So I'm way behind compared to my peers, but at least I finally got to start. My only wish is that, maybe having started much earlier, even like couple years earlier, but I screwed up a lot. I messed around too much in my 20s and in my 30s, and finally put my life together somewhat in some way, and finally my first time investing money into 401k account and buying some stocks. And mostly I just buy S&P 500 and US stocks, index funds. Excuse me. Clown World Jr., I prefer aliens. Alright, you do you, Clown World Jr. Kiko, since you've experienced quite a bit, do you have any advice to avoid some of the things you may regret? I'm still young, but already find myself in fear about not getting anywhere in adulthood. That's a very broad question. But I think in the bigger picture, I think the main reason why I struggled a lot in my life, to sum it up, I think it boils down to probably two things. First, caring too much about what people may think of me. Spending too much of my energy, my effort, my mental energy, my mental effort too, into thinking about what other people may think of me. Second is believing blindly and falsely and delusionally believing that anyone is capable of doing anything. Anyone is capable of becoming anything. It's just not true. It's just not scientifically factually true. We all have different strength, and some people unfortunately are smarter than other people. And I used to believe that I am smart. I used to believe that I'm capable of succeeding in anything if I put enough hard work into it, but it wasn't, at least for me personally, it wasn't true. So you gotta find what you may be good at, and you actually may not be able to find what you're good at, because it's also, I don't think it's factually true that everyone has something that they're good at. I don't think it's statistically true. No, it's basically saying like, oh, we are all equal. Like, we all have equal intelligence. We're all capable of like making out to be like an NBA star if we try hard enough. So you may actually, just like me, you may be someone who may not be good at anything, and that's okay. But if that's the case, try to find something you might actually be average at. And if you still struggle with that too, try to find something you can at least tolerate doing for the rest of your life. And that's how I found my career, and that's when the breakthrough happened. When actually I was able to admit to myself that I'm not smart enough, and that's okay. And no matter how hard I may work, there are some things I cannot achieve, and that's okay too. When that realization occurred, that's when I started to look the other way and tried considering other possible careers and avenues that I might try. So previously, in my 20s, when I still was blind to this idea that like anyone can become anything, I deluded myself with this belief that I could become a medical doctor. I could get into medical school. But that wasn't true. That I was not good at science classes. I was not good at any of those prereqs that you need to take in order for you to apply to med school. I failed organic chemistry 2 times, and I was able to pass the 3rd time. And I really, really tried hard, but I just wasn't good at it. I just couldn't do it. But the thing was that I was still stuck with this belief that like, this mentality that like, if I put in enough effort, I should be able to do it. But I wasn't able to do it, so I was so confused. Like, why can't I do it if I put in enough effort? Back in high school, I was able to do it. If I put in enough effort, I was able to ace all my classes. That's how I was able to get good GPA and get into good school like UC Berkeley. But then, somehow, all of a sudden, once I was in college, that belief did not hold true anymore. When that belief did not hold true anymore, I started to ask myself, actually, is that belief still true? Or is it because I'm not putting in enough effort? And I just somehow still was in denial and wanted to believe that the latter is true. So I tried my best to put in even more effort, try even harder than I did in high school. And still, it did not go anywhere. I still could not pass those freaking OChem classes. And at best, I was like a B or C student. I was barely able to pass the class when I tried hard enough, or tried harder. While seeing all these other students, or like my friends, they did try, but like they did not try as hard as I did. but they were still able to like go to parties and have fun in college, and still able to ace those classes, those hard like science courses, and get into med school. Sorry, I got disconnected there. But long story short, yeah, like I would encourage you to like be more open-minded. Don't blindly follow this motivational quotes that somehow anyone is capable of doing anything. That's just not true. It's not going to be true. I may sound like very pessimistic and cynical, but at least in my personal experience, the main reason why I struggled so much was because I blindly followed that mantra that anyone's capable of doing anything. But once I let that go, yeah, I was able to like make a breakthrough and actually like, yeah, find something else. Realize there's other options out there. Like there is jobs out there that's not like doctor, that's not a lawyer. These like lucrative, prestigious jobs, there's still other jobs out there that I actually might be able to do. Because like growing up, like I kind of was brainwashed into believing that any job other than these white collar jobs like lawyer, pharmacist, dentist, or medical doctor, those jobs like all sucked and they're like peasant jobs. That's what my dad made me into to believe. So always considering any other job wasn't an option for me. It didn't exist in my world, right? So it made me into this person to be really with this really narrow mindset that, oh, all these other jobs, they don't exist. If I take those jobs, I'm going to be a peasant. I'm going to be looked down, right? My dad would always tell me like, oh, like unless you hold these kind of jobs, people are going to look down on you. You're going to be regarded as not important. You're going to be dismissed. People are not going to consider you, think highly of you. They're going to like ignore you. They're not going to take you seriously. So he like fed me all these like nonsensible, ridiculous, very flawed and one-sided and just narrow-minded beliefs. And when you are fed those beliefs at such a young age, it's hard to let go. It becomes part of you, becomes who you are, right? So I believed I had this like really weird, kind of really messed up mentality that like I just must become a doctor or no job. But any job is better than no job. I mean, I don't know if it still applies to the current economy, but having a job is better than having no job. Having some income, some kind of income, is better than no income, right? At least you can become something. Even if you don't become a doctor or lawyer or some kind of like lucrative career, you still become something. And becoming something is better than becoming nothing. And in my 20s, in my early 30s, I was nothing. I was turning myself into becoming nothing because I was not willing to look elsewhere. I was not willing to look past these lucrative, prestigious jobs. I was not willing to give myself a chance to actually be okay with, having these doctor or non-lawyer jobs. And once I was able to let it go, I finally found something that I actually like. Isn't that wild? I'm still here. I'm still surviving. At least, even if I can't afford rent. But at least, like, I'm not, like asking my parents for money, like at this age, because that's what I was doing when I was in my 20s and early 30s. I would hold these like weird jobs and I didn't like, and it was all part-time jobs, and sometimes, yeah, like I would have to, like there was like periods of time in my life where when I did not have any job, and I would have to ask my parents for money, and it doesn't feel nice for me to have to like ask for money like at that age, right? For me to like be a burden to them financially. I mean, still being a burden somewhat because I'm still staying with them. That's why I'm trying to help them out by at least like paying utilities, right? But still, like I'm in a better shape now than I was before. And how was I able to like transition from like who I was back then to, who I am now? I'm in a much better place, I believe, right? I hope that like makes sense, or I hope that answers your question. All right. Hey, Bunny Wavy. Hi, Kenji. Hello. Random. Have any Tesla stocks? I think so. I buy U.S. index funds. So yeah, those U.S. index funds hold some of the Tesla stocks. Yeah. But not a lot, I believe. Bunny Wavy, what is something you wished you think young people should do to improve their self-worth from your experience? Oh, that's such a hard question. What is something I think young people would do to improve their self-worth from my experience? I think from my experience, there were definitely times that I used to believe a certain job. Like, I think kind of what I just shared kind of answers your question, but I used to believe like certain jobs were beneath me, right? Meaning that, like certain jobs were not even worth considering because they're so, I guess they're not as prestigious or not worth it, as not highly regarded. So basically I used to look down on certain jobs, certain careers, right? But I no longer believe that's true. Like I no longer associate myself with that belief. And I still believe definitely there is a level of a hierarchy, right, on jobs in terms of like how much money you bring and how much, I guess, like prestige it may bring, or it may like, yeah, it may bring, right? But then I think don't get so caught up in like the prestige of jobs. Certainly there are jobs that you could be good at, you could actually may end up having or growing passion for if you just give it a chance. So don't pass on like these opportunities that may be given to you just because you feel like you deserve more or better. Like, be fair. I think try to be fair to yourself, to at least give yourself a shot a chance to like take the job and learn from it. Hope that makes sense. Hey Kevin Shop, greetings. Alright. Clownward Jr. I believe sometimes IQ is fixed. Some were born with extraordinary IQ and some with fixed average IQ. Yeah, that's very true. I also believe that IQ is fixed. Intelligence is fixed. Kiko, I feel that for a long time I've tried fitting the mold that was considered most successfully, only to find out that I'm completely uninterested in them and wasted time trying to drill that into my head. Yeah, you know, if you think about it, like sometimes interests grow in you, but a lot of times you don't really choose interests. Interests choose you. Right? A lot of hobbies or interests, I have no control over whether or not I like them. They kind of chose me. Like the video game I like to play, League of Legends. It chose me. I didn't choose it. I didn't choose to be interested in that game specifically. The interest, the appeal of that game chose me. Right? It was not a conscious decision for me to decide to be interested in that game. Right? Attraction works the same way. When you find yourself attracted to someone, is it because you consciously decided to be interested or attracted to that person? No. Before you even realize that you're attracted to that person, your brain chose that person, or that person's attraction chose you, right? You're pretty like blind or helpless in terms of like choosing what to be interested or what to be attracted to and who to be attracted to. You don't get to choose, right? Attraction chooses you. Hope that makes sense. HB1N, what's the weirdest job you had? I for like a month, I worked at this karaoke bar, but it was more like escort / karaoke bar. So we had like escort women working there, and they don't like have sex or anything like that, but like they kind of like sit with you and sing a song with you, and they pour drinks, and they kind of let the customers kind of like touch you a little right here and there. And I was like a waiter there, right? And my job was like to bring drinks and to bring food and to even freaking like run some like personal errands, like such as going to pick up going out to a liquor store to get the pack of cigarettes. And that was like the weirdest job, and I freaking hated it. Like customers, a lot of them, they're not good people. They treat waiters like they're slaves, and it was not a good experience. Yeah. Kim Yo Jung, tiger parenting is a generation trauma. Oh yeah, absolutely agree. I think the tiger parenting, the generation trauma, I think there's like the generational deprivation that has been passed down, right? Passed on to like next generation. And all they're doing is that addressing or trying to like fight their trauma or living their trauma, and like trying to avoid or fill that void and the needs that has not been fulfilled, right? at the sacrifice of their kids, right? Rap Reaper, have you watched the One Piece? I'm on episode 200. Oh, I didn't watch it, but I used to read a lot of One Piece manga when I was young. But it's still going, huh? Right? Man, like I'm so behind because I stopped reading like when I was in high school. But I really, really enjoyed it. It's so good. But if I try to catch up now, it's gonna take a lot of time, huh? Wait, Hyunbin, you lost like 17K last week on Palantir? How do you have such a tremendous amount of money I don't even have? You as a high school kid, how? Where did you even get that money? What the heck? 17K? What? Alex King, what was your peak rank? My peak was platinum. Right, not that high. But isn't platinum still kind of high, right? Like top 15%, 10%? Stan, Kenji, I think you avoided a lot of pain and saved a lot of money by figuring out med school was not for you. Many doctors today are only doing it for the prestige, and they end up miserable and sad. Right. You know, when you go to hospital, when you see like these doctors, you can tell they're miserable, man. They're not happy with their life. At one time, like for 2 years, I did this like volunteer internship at a big hospital, and I've got to interact with a lot of doctors, and yeah, they're not happy. A lot of them were miserable. A lot of them were sleep deprived. A lot of them were like had a lot of high ego or issues with their ego. Man, I shared this in one of my live stream video, but yeah, like I shared an episode of this doctor like throwing a freaking gauze at a nurse, like calling her out like for her not bringing the right size gauze, and he didn't have to go that far to like freaking insult her like that. But man, yeah, a lot of these doctors are miserable. So probably I'm pretty sure I've dodged a bullet. Red Reaper. My ex used to study anatomy in school, and the terminology alone was super confusing. Yeah, I took anatomy class too, and terminology, man, it was definitely confusing. All these like weird sounding names, it's all freaking like stemmed from like Greek or whatever. It was so weird. It was very hard to memorize. Hey, Derek Alfonso, good to see you. When am I gonna get a Bentley? Probably never. Oh wow, what? You trade already, Hyunbin? You were up like 50K? What? But where did you even get the like seed money? Where did you get the initial money to invest? Did you get it from your tiger mom? Yeah, clown. Yeah, these like customers, they're probably like very lonely, and that's why they come to those places, right? To fill their void and to fill their loneliness. But I feel for them though, like when you're old, and yeah, a lot of them are like older men, like in their like 60s and 70s and 50s, and yeah. Derek Alfonso, they're chasing money, and the title one day should be chasing Jesus Christ our God. Can I get a big amen? Amen. Alright, let's see. Start a goal. 10 super chats. What is this? Choose the super chat. Set a timer. Oh wow, okay. Let me see. Oh. Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't. Red Reaper. I didn't really get to read Naruto or JoJo, Black Clover, Inuyasha. Those are popular ones too, huh? But I think it's really. But I definitely read One Piece. Kim Yo-jung, that's ultimately why you and me are single. The girls we like have extremely high expectations of us. It's primarily an economic thing, not our looks. Maybe, yeah. Guys, I'm testing out this like goal 10 super chats goal whatever thing. I've never seen this, but I just want to see what it looks like on the chat. I'll host a Q&A session. You guys don't have to donate, okay? But I'm just trying to see what it looks like, because this is the first time I see it. Started the goal. Oh, this is interesting. See, cool engine. Oh, okay. This is what it looks like. Oh, wow. Okay. How to end it? Remove goal. Okay. Alright. That's an interesting feature. Clown World Junior. Kenji, have you tried cosplaying? No. Not really. Was the escorts middle-aged women? No, they were all like young women in their 20s. And they were like straight from Korea too. So they would come here like on a student visa. And then I guess some of them were going to school at the same time, and it was their way to make an extra income, I guess. But man, like they were making good income, man. Like these customers, like they would tip the girls like crazy. Every day I see them like making like at least few $100s in tips alone. We waiters, we don't get tips, man. They never tipped us. If they do, like they give us like a $5 tip. That's it. But like girls, like yeah, they would give girls like $100 tip, $200, $300. Oh my god, that's crazy. Alright. Alex Kim, have you been to any other countries except Korea? Yeah, I've been to Canada to visit my friend. I've been to Mexico. I've been to China. I've been to Japan. My next goal is to visit Southeast Asia. Hopefully Vietnam and Thailand. That's my goal. Kenji probably travel all over the world and has many wives. I wish. I wish. That's funny. I wish I do travel a lot. Let me see. How can I? Deflect the jets. Save. What? It's weird. All right. All right, guys. I'm getting a little tired now. It's 9:20 over here. So I'm going to wrap up here. Thanks. Thank you everyone for coming on my live stream. And yeah, spending time with me, spending time with the lonely guy. I hope you guys have a great night. Okay, and I'll see you in the next night live stream, okay? Alright, take care. Bye.